Hi, welcome to Cashfree. In this video, we are going to tell how to integrate Cashfree Payment SDK web checkout flow. For this, we have created sample Android application in which we have two cart item and one Pay Now button. When you click on Pay Now button, it will open Cashfree Payment web checkout flow where you can make a payment. Let's take a video sample tour. Here, when I click on Pay Now button, it has opened Cashfree payment page where you can make payment. Let's integrate Cashfree Payment SDK. First of all, go to build.gdl file of app level and add Cashfree Payment SDK dependency inside a dependency block. So I have already added. Let's uncomment it and sync the project. Recently we have released our newer version of Cashfree Payment SDK, which is 2.1.4, and you can go to the Cashfree doc where you can get the list of all the previous releases along with the change logs. So now my project is synced. Now let's integrate. So first of all, this is the main activity where we are going to integrate Payment SDK. You can also integrate in a fragment class or any other activity class. So this is the sample one. So I am going to edit here. So firstly, implement Cashfree Checkout response callback interface and implement its method. Let's implement CF Checkout response callback. Now it is showing error because we have to implement its two methods. So I have already implemented. Let's uncomment it. Let's go to this. Let's check what this interface is. So checkout response callback has two interface methods. One is the on payment verify and another one is the on payment failure. On payment verify is triggered when payment happens on the website, and in response you get an order ID. So using this order ID, you have to go to your backend and verify the payment status, whether payment has success, active, failed, whatever. And on payment failure is the method which get triggered when payment fail happened, and in the params we get a CF error response. Let's check this CF error response class. So it has status, message, code and type. These all information you get. Let's go back. Now after implementing this checkout response callback, now we have to set the callback. So inside on create of method, we have to set the callback, or basically set a listener. So for this, we have Cashfree Payment Gateway Service .get instance, and then there is a method called set checkout callback. This method accepts context. So we have passed this because we have implemented this checkout response callback. So we are passing as this. And we have implemented two of the methods, on payment verify and on payment failure. Now we have set the listener for the payment result. Now it's time to check how payment happens. So there is one button, Pay Now, and when you click on this Pay Now button, it will call do payment method. This can be any method as per your application or your code. I have name as do payment. So let's prepare the objects that do payment required. So Cashfree Payment Gateway Service .instant.do payment require two parameters. One is the context and another one is the CF Web Checkout Payment object. Now let's go to prepare CF Web Checkout Payment object. So CF Web Checkout Payment object accepts two parameters. One is the session, CF session, and another one is the CF Checkout UI theme object. Now let's go back. What is a CF session object? So CF session object is the builder class basically, and it accepts three parameters. One is the order ID, one is the payment session ID, and one is the environment. So environment is specified in which environment you want to test, like sandbox or production. So it has two enum things. One is the production, one is the sandbox. And payment session ID and order ID. Let's go and check what are these values. So order ID is the randomly generated value, or if you are creating any random order ID, then you can pass it, and from where you can get the payment session ID. So let's go and check. So before starting any payment, first of all, merchant system has to create one order on the Cashfree system. So for this, Cashfree has provided order create API, and merchant or your application can integrate these order create API. So this is you can go to the Cashfree doc where you can check how to create the order on your backend system. So when your front-end application creates order, in response you will get payment session ID, order ID, and other relevant details. So let's go to the Postman and just check the sample. Yes, so I have already integrated this order create API and set some values: order amount, currency, customer details, order meta URL, notify URL, and other things. Let's create one order. Yeah, I have already created one order. Now in the response you can check there is a payment session ID. This payment session ID your application has to pass to the Cashfree SDK in CF session object, and you can take this order ID if you want to pass, or else you can pass your own order ID. So let's copy these. And also copy this payment session ID. Now after copy pasting this payment session ID and order ID, we have created this CF session object: order ID, payment session ID, and the environment. Because my environment is the sandbox, so I have added sandbox as an environment. If it is a production, then you can pass a production. After creating CF session object, now create a CF theme builder object. So CF web checkout theme builder object accepts two parameters. One is the navigation bar background color. So this color will appear on the top of your status bar and there, and the navigation bar text color is the color of your title. Basically, if it currently I have set as a white, so in the navigation bar you can see white color logo. And once you create the CF theme builder object, now create a CF web checkout payment object. Since we have already created CF session object, theme builder object, let's add those values and build this CF theme object, web checkout object, and pass to this. Now we can run this code. So yeah, my application is running now. When I click on this pay now, it will open Cashfree payment page. So in the top of your application you can see green color. So this is the color that I have set as a navigation bar background color, and complete transaction is in white color. So I have set as a navigation bar text color. So this is our navigation bar text color and navigation bar background color. So now Cashfree payment page is already opened. Now let's try one payment. Let's try the wallet payment, and when you click on this, it will open the Cashfree simulator page. Now when you click on this simulate failure, it will simulate for the failure scenarios, and you will receive a callback in on payment failure. So in on payment failure we have CF error response object, which has code, message, status, and type. So I have created one alert dialog that will open when there is a payment failure. Let's try this. Yeah, so this alert dialog that I have created, and inside a code you are getting payment failed, message as transaction pending, and you can close this dialog. Let's try one more time. So even if by accidentally you press the device back button, then we are showing some alert dialog before closing the payment, and when you click on yes, so it will close the payment page. and you will receive a callback in on payment failure. Code as action has cancelled and message action has been cancelled by the user. Now let's try for the success payment. Yeah, I have clicked on success, simulate success, and I have received the order ID in response. So when there is a payment success, you will receive the callback in on payment verify. After receiving callback in on payment verify, now you need to verify the order status on your backend. So for this we have order status API that you can use. So this just copy this order ID from order get response, and this is the order status API where you have to pass the order ID and just check the status. So here you can check the order status as paid because we have successfully paid the order. So whenever your backend create any order, it can pass notify URL. So notify URL is kind of webhook URL that our Cashfree system will use to notify about the order status, whether when it is paid, failure, something. So I have added this sample webhook URL, and let's create one order. I have created this order. Let's copy paste this payment session ID. Again we will try and we will check it. So let's copy paste. Before making payment, if you try to check the order, then let's see what happens. Here you can see order status as active because we haven't paid, or neither it is cancelled or not we have paid the order. So order status is active. Now let's make a payment. So once the payment success, our backend system will send a webhook URL. So as you can check, we have received the webhook notify on this webhook URL. So you can take the order ID. Let's verify this order ID that we have received corresponding to this webhook. Yeah. So this is the webhook URL that we are listening. And you can check the order status, payment status as successful, then type of payment success webhook. So yeah, thank you. This way you can verify your payments.